race, Italy and Singapore today. I will be your commentator, Sondre Sorhaug. Unfortunately, for the second week in a row, stood up by my partner Lewis Marshall, but nonetheless, I have Morris Guy and Cabo with me here today. And we're gonna start off with Morris Guy. So, first of all, well, looking back at the last week, actually, you got a podium in that second Hungary race.
Yeah.
And well, fair to say it didn't go too good in Britain, but in Hungary, it clicked a little for you there.
This seems to be a running thing in this league. The first race is always bad. The second race is decent. I like Hungary though. I like racing at Hungary. I don't know why it's not in certain other leagues more regularly.
Oh, well, I can tell you that I love the track, but nonetheless, though, coming off that third place in Hungary, now into Italy before we have Singapore later tonight. How are you feeling about those two tracks?
Singapore, love it. Monza, no, I will crash.
Well, to be fair though, with the reverse grid after the first race, I think if you really don't like Italy, then just try to make sure that you finish so you get a good starting position for Singapore, you know?
Are you telling me I should cheat?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it cheating to not crash out.
Oh,
tactics.
Tactics, yeah, that's the right word. But nonetheless, though, so Italy, there, you said it, we'll be expecting a crash or a low result for you, but then going on to Singapore, are we looking at another podium again, or?
Hopefully. I usually do quite well at Singapore. The only problem is I don't have Blue with me. And me and him, if you know anything about, if you've been watching us in the last F6 and F7 races, me and him love Singapore. And we usually battle quite well around here.
Interesting.
So,
nonetheless, though, I have another question, as both of you are pretty used to being teammates and pretty used to being in the Renault. However, that's not the case right now, though. Like, how is that being not actually teammate with Cablo this season of ALR?
Cablo wanted a break. we would have gone on Jeremy Kyle, but they got cancelled.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So we're going on Judge Rinder instead.
Well, last question for you then, Maurice, and the championship. Where are you looking at ending up in the end? Right now, sitting in 10th.
Probably about 7th, 8th, 9th, around that.
Oh, be a little optimistic here. Top 5.
No.
Well, fair enough. Nonetheless, though.
I'm realistic.
Nonetheless, good luck for today, and who knows, maybe I'll see you again later.
Maybe.
Nonetheless, we're gonna move on to Cablo, our second driver in here, and I think it's fair to say that you've hit a few bumps in some of the races, Cablo.
Yeah, it hasn't been going too well, has it?
Well, I mean, you have a top 10 finish so far with a 7th, but you've been in the position for better finishes, though. But so far, it just doesn't come. Like, well, what do you?
No, the strategies have been off slightly. I think it's thrown us off a little bit, getting used to the 25% races. I think. I know it seems pretty straightforward. It's a softer medium most races, but I've made a few basic mistakes in them races, and I think that's what's cost us. But never mind.
Well, you know, there's more chances, and yeah,
keep trying.
Nonetheless, with all of those bumps, your best result did come in Hungary. So, you think you can carry on that momentum in Italy and Singapore today?
I don't know if you've seen. I mentioned in the chat. These are possibly two of my worst tracks, and I have them both on one night. Isn't great. So I'm going to try my best. I'll say if I can pick up at some point, any point, I'll be happy. But like I say, I'm just not great at either of these tracks. So I'm not expecting anything, but I'll try my best and see what I can get.
Well, then a follow-up question to that answer: if these tracks aren't really good to you, are we gonna see? Will we might see a tactical decision from you in Italy to get a front row start in Singapore, or?
I mean, we'll see how the race pans out. I'm just gonna, obviously, the one shot quality can be sometimes difficult to nail the lap. And obviously, there's a couple of very quick people in this league. Um, so yeah, I'm just gonna go for it, just see what happens, try my best, see how the race pans out. If it's not looking great, yeah, I'll hopefully be near the front when it comes to Singapore.
And then for the championship, what are you looking at with that rocky start? Is it top 10
I,
or?
I just want to keep picking up some points and see where it takes us. Like I say, it hasn't been great, but we'll keep going, see how it go.
Well, there's more races. And
Yeah.
final question then: the break with Morris guy. How is it going?
It's different. It is on a serious note. It is nice to sort of be able to race each other more than talking to each other and say you do this, you do that. It's nice to
Yeah.
actually be able to race each other. Um,
We
yeah,
had, we
it's
had a bit
it's
of a race in Hungary. That's
yeah,
good.
it's different. It's nice to sort of have a little break, but I'm sure we'll be back together soon enough.
I'll be expecting you two back in the Reynolds by next season in PSG.
Of course, of course.
But nonetheless, though, good luck to the both of you today, and who knows, maybe you'll get your best result of the season today, Cabo. You never know.
I shall try my best. Thank
Well,
you.
good luck then. And
Cheers, mate.
then
Thank you.
Lobby's about to start.
it
Speak to you
is.
soon. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
See you later.
Thank
Ta-ra.
you. And then, as people can see, we are starting to get into quali. And well, hello to you, audio. But yeah, as I was saying, we are into quali. It is two 25% races with reversed grid after Monza. Predictions audio is gonna go for top 3, he says. Well, definitely gonna have a shot at it, I think. But first of all, we're gonna get this one shot quali done. As the drivers will be picking their strategies, their tires, everything pretty much. Might be a casualty or two who forgets their setup. Fair to say that if they do, it could be crucial, especially on this Monza track. But let's see. So there we go, and we're gonna follow Terpesky as he is going out of Parabolica to then head into turn 1. A very crucial braking zone going into this corner, as you can see that he cuts the first curb quite heavily before going out of turn 2, heavy traction zone where you really need to be able to push the power down as quickly as possible. Nonetheless, then into this next chicane where we saw the calamity between Vettel and Hamilton a few years ago. You can see Trafesky losing the back end a little as he then goes into Lesmo 1, 2 tricky and fast corners, but pretty straightforward at the same time, as you can see him heading out of Lesmo 2, then down this back straight where he has DRS open, heading into Ascari. Probably one of the most tricky corners on this track, as you can see him cutting the first curve, then the second curve, he cuts the third one too, manages to keep the car stable, Then going down towards Parabolka, we can see that he is in the lead at the moment with just one more corner, but it is so crucial to get this one right. If not, you could lose valuable tenths there, but it looks like Terpesky goes over the line to take pole position here in Monza ahead of RDO and Pawnage Town. As we have Terpesky on pole position ahead of RDO, then Pawnage Town, then Mesclas, Buma in 5th, Cablo in 6th, getting a good quali in here from Cablo. Then we have the Hailstone in 7th, Wireload Billy in 8th, Swenderman in 9th, Twanak in 10th, the two houses on the same row, Python in 11th, Nutella Lover, the fan favorite, in 12th, Morris Guy in 13th. Then I believe this is a new driver, Pontus Johansson in 14th, El Truco, Marshall's favorite driver, in 15th, Lorenzo in 16th, Mac Attack in 17th, Abmo in 18th, I5 in 19th, and I did not actually catch the last one, but I do believe it was Osvaldo Romeo. As we're then heading into the race, and with that, after seeing quali in the chat, who are your top 3 predictions if you dare to come with them? I will come with mine on the formation lap, and I will surely be wrong as always, I assume. Nonetheless, I'm gonna try to make a prediction, and I'm probably gonna be wrong, but we're gonna try. As the drivers now currently are picking their strategies, and as for strategy though, there isn't much to wonder about there. It is an easy soft to mediums if you're starting outside of the top 10. Could be mediums to soft, however, with safety cars, risk of safety cars on this track. I do believe maybe starting on the soft would be the better option. Nonetheless, we can see that outside of the top 10 we have Python, Pontus Johansson, El Truco, Lorenzo, I5 and Osvaldo Romeo all on the medium compound. And for me, I'm gonna predict the podium today to be Terpesky is gonna win here in Monza. Second will be Pawnage Town in the end, and third will be RDO. And let's have a look in the chat though. I don't see the normal fan club for Nutella Lover, unfortunately. It's quite surprising. Haven't been missing them for a few races now. Nonetheless though, they're getting to the end of the formation lap. Let's see. I see a couple of guys in the chat there. Audio has predicted his top 5 actually. Terpesky, himself and Buma, before Pawnage and Rossi aka Python in 5th. Python saying Terpesky is way too quick. Who invited him? Well, Python, you were fighting me last season in PSGL. Come on, bring out what you show there. Mesclas to be fair. Well, I do think Mesclas he's definitely a dark horse today, but it's gonna be impossible to be sure of who is gonna end up on the podium. However, my prediction as it stands is Terpesky, Audio and Pawnage Town. as we're right now just waiting on the lights. As there they are, we have 2, 3, 4 and 5 red lights, and away we go. As it looks like the two on the front row looks to have had a quite decent start. However, in the back here we can see that there is a lot of battling for positions, as we see some places they are 3 wide, and it's that Boomer who goes very deep into turn 1. Oh, as we see Billy's. Okay, I think there has been some lag involved in the situations around Billy there. Kind of hard to see, but he's definitely lagging. Oh, okay. Nonetheless, at the front of the field right now, we have Ardio and Mesclas battling it out for third place at the moment. Ponich has managed to get himself up into second. As of right now, my prediction is correct. But there is still 12 more laps of racing, as we can see that Mesclas is under pressure from Buma behind him too. We have, I believe there is a Ferrari in the background making some moves too, or might have been actually been made a move on. Nonetheless, Billy has lagged out. He's back in though, as the front of the field is heading towards Parabolica. And look at this, Cablo and Nutella over side by side through the Parabolica. Nutella over on the outside, Cablo on the inside. They're still side by side heading on to the long straight. Who is going to get this position as they come into turn 1? Look at this, they're still side by side. Cablo is looking like he's getting a small slipstream from Buma there, and that might have been what has kept him ahead. But look at this, Nutella over breaks way later on the outside and gets the position as they head for the chicane, for the second chicane on the track. And look at this, Nutella over, he's looking feisty. He's now looking for a move on Buma. Down the inside into this chicane, he's backing out of it, he thinks better of it. And I will have to admit that that might have been a good decision. It's not easy to... Ooh, as Lorenzo seems to almost have lost his rear there. I5 though has had a blistering start, up from 19th to 13th at the moment. And look at this, in front. Terpesky is still leading, but Ponich though on the inside heading into Ascari. There Terpesky keeps his position for now, but he's under a massive amount of pressure from Ponich Town here. As look at this, Ponich Town goes past Terpesky before the long straight. I don't see the logic behind this, as right now he's probably just going to be passed by on the long straight by Terpesky with the well, not DRS. DRS will actually be next lap, but look at this, Terpesky goes right back through again though. And look at this, Audio is looking a little feisty on Ponich too, as it's really close in turn 1 here. However, behind in the field though, we can see that there is a little battling between the horses, and we can see that Sven is it who's lost a little of his front wing. So that's gonna hinder him quite a lot today then, I will assume. Nonetheless though, look at this, Cablo on the taillover, he's still there, he wants that position back. He can't get it right here. I think he might have braked a little later, didn't get the optimal line through that chicane, and now he has Twanak all over him. As the top 3 at the moment is looking like they're just pulling away from everyone. And look at this, heading down to Ascari. We're not gonna see anyone doing anything here this time. What about Nutella over on Buma? He's a little too far behind. I5 on Macatak though. He's gonna go past him into Ascari as he goes into the top 10 and a points paying position. But oh, and look at that, there's a massive crash, and it's Billy. It's the other alpha of El Truco, and it was someone else. I think it might have been Lorenzo, I'm not sure. Nonetheless though, this has... Ooh, has it brought out the safety car, or is it just a VSC? I think it's a VSC, I am not 100% certain. Nonetheless, we can see that the McLaren i5 is in to put on a new set of soft tires, and to be fair, this could be a good strategy, because I think those softs, they're gonna make it to the end, and he's getting that front wing back. However, this is a full safety car, I believe. That will certainly make it interesting, as we can see that i5 gets out right ahead of Morris Guy. Morris Guy, who's done a pit stop already onto the medium tires. Same with Mescas, he was just in the pit to put on a set of mediums. Lorenzo, he's been into the pit to put on a set of mediums. Osvaldo Romeo, he's been in to put on a set of soft. El Truco, he's been in to put on a set of soft. Pontus Johansson, I don't know, I'm not sure what he's done. He's been in, but he's put on a set of hard tires. If I were him, I would go into the pit again to put on a fresh set of either mediums or softs. Those hards are going to be dreadful to be on. Nonetheless, Abmo then also been into the pit. And now comes the interesting part. Will Python be able to jump any of these cars going into the pit right now, as Cablo gets a collision penalty for a collision with Nutella Lover on the way into the pit? And let us see. Alright, so both the Haas's are double stacking, and that's horrible for the Renault of Cablo, as he will be held, but he didn't actually get held. But let's see, Python coming around Parabolica now. Will he be able to jump any of these? I think he might have been a little up on his delta there, as he slowed down quite heavily. He's definitely going to be jumping Sven. He's not going to be able to jump anyone else. And Mac-Attack though, I am not sure what he's doing, but he's staying out on his 4-lap old soft tires. And this might be putting him all the way at the back of the grid if he can't get in this lap and get back up to the fielding. And well, it will definitely put him at the back of the grid, thinking about it. But how many positions he's definitely gonna lose a lot of time on this. He should have pitted on this lap. However, he's decided not to, unless he has pitted. He has not, so everyone's been in for their pit stop except for Mac-Attack in the Mercedes. And looking at this, Audio actually, he somehow jumped Ponage in the pit, is back up to second. As I believe the safety car is going in this lap, as we can see that Morris Guy picks up a 10-second time penalty. Not sure if that is something he can get removed. Nonetheless though, we can see that Mac-Attack has slowed the field down. He's actually gotten a gap. Oh, but look at this, he's gone too early, and Terpesky has managed to hold back the field a little more. He's going to be attacking Mac-Attack into turn 1. I don't think he can get past there, as there is a tap from, I think there's been a tap from Audio on Terpesky, as Terpesky goes right down the field then, I think. Oh, and look at this, Nutella Lover on the outside of Twanak, but he has a wall of Audio and Ponage right in front of him too. Who is gonna, ooh, as I believe Ponage might have gone right over that chicane. I am not quite sure what's happened there, but he's gotten a time penalty. We see some wing damage for a few people. Nutella Lover, however, is not one of those people, and he's in a great position right now in P3 on those mediums that are going to go to the end. Audio, he's finding himself in P4. He is under a massive amount of pressure from the hailstone. And Audio with that damaged front wing, I believe it is, yeah, he has a massive amount of damage actually on his front wing, and it's going to be impossible for him to, oh, as we can see that the Mercedes is out. Audio tries to avoid him, almost pushes his own teammate into the wall. Nonetheless though, that was Mac-Attack for that matter, who went out, and And I believe it's a new safety car. Okay, so we will probably see a few people into the pit. We see Pawnage, we see RDO, we see Python is going into the pit again, Morris guy is going into the pit again, El Truco is into the pit again. So 5 drivers into the pit. Obviously gonna be putting on a fresh set of soft tires. Some of these drivers are obviously also just going in because of the wing damage, I believe. But look at this though, Nutella over, he is finding himself in a great position right now. In P1. Can this be the race where he finally gets it together and gets that top position? Definitely some of the fast guys are quite far down the grid right now, as we have Pawnage, we have Audio, both of them on a new set of softs. We have Morris Guy, Python, Sven, El Truco. And obviously we have Terpesky, who spun in turn 1. He's down in 7th right now. Buma is in 6th. So I do believe we might see some drivers getting their first podium today. I believe it would be their first podium. At least I will have a quick look into that. So we can see that it is Python. He's not quite happy about some of the driving here. But it's lap 8. It's still a safety car. I believe the safety car will go in on this lap. I certainly hope so. I do hope we get as much racing as possible. However, it might stay out another lap too, I'm not quite sure. But talking about Nutella Lover though, so far his best result is a P6 that he got in Baku. He's been in good positions a few times though, I do know that. And right now I think he might be in the best position he's been in so far this season. And it will be interesting to see what he can do. Obviously he has the Hailstone right behind him, and the Hailstone who's been on the podium one time before this season when he got a 2nd place in Canada. He'll be looking feisty to get that first win of the season. 3rd place Cablo though, as we talked about in the pre-race interviews. It's a horrible track for him, he said, but somehow he's finding himself in 3rd position right now. And this might end up being the best result of the season for him, as we get the clear go. The safety car is in this lap. And let's see then. Nutella will be slowing down the field a little. And after that he will try to catch the other drivers a little off guard. However, I think that might get a little difficult. We can see the Hailstone, he's leaving a bit of a gap to Nutella Lover. Nutella Lover hasn't really let the safety car go. I don't think he's gone for the right restart here, as there he goes, and I think there's been some carnage down the field there, as we can see that the top 3 drivers have really gotten a gap to I5 behind. And look at this, Cablo, he's looking feisty, he wants that 2nd place, he's going to try to challenge the Hailstone into turn 1, but look at this, he's getting challenged on the outside by I5 as Cablo goes a little on the grass. He almost loses the back end, getting back on the track, and he loses 2 positions as he's now down into 5th with Buma right behind him, pressuring him already. Will Buma be going for that dive into this chicane? He doesn't, he stays behind for now. In the meantime, we have Pontus Johansson though on his old hard tires, really struggling. Oh, and look at this! Pontus Johansson gets through, but I think Osvaldo, it was, who's lost the back end or something. Something happened in that Lesmo one. I didn't quite catch quite what happened, but it helped out Pontus for that matter. But look at this though, we have a lot of drivers right on the back of each other. I5 is also right on the back of the Hailstone. On the other hand though, Nutella has really pulled away here. He's in first. He might be able to take his first win here. Obviously I'm going to be jinxing it as normal. But nonetheless though, down the long straight, is I5 going to be able to do anything with the Hailstone here? I think he's going to be a little too far behind. Nonetheless though, further down the field we see that they're a lot closer, and look at this, Morris Guy and El Truco has gone side by side. We're now looking at Python, who's also battling with Osvaldo. Osvaldo on his old soft tires, probably starting to struggle a little with those tires, but he's now going down the inside of Pontus. Pontus is just not having any grip on those hard tires. But look at this terrain though, there is a massive train behind Osvaldo here right now. Osvaldo trying to keep everyone off on those old tires, but he has Pontus right behind him. Behind Pontus you have Python, you have El Truco, then Morris Guy, Pornage. And right now, looking at Pornage, he is extremely close with Morris Guy. He goes down the inside into the scar. He goes a little deep. He's not going to get the best exit here. Morris Guy might be able to get him back onto the next long straight. As we're just going to have a look at Buma then. He's going to be the first one with a chance down this long straight. Look at this. Cablo goes way wide. Buma is going to take that 5th place away from Cablo. Nonetheless though, Pontus is under a massive amount of pressure from Python in the Ferrari, and look at that, El Truco in the Alpha. He is just sitting back, waiting on an opportunity right now. And and I think that is actually Morris Guy who's gone deep in turn 1 and opted for the escape road. Nonetheless, we see that El Truco now, he's the next driver who's pressuring Pontus there now, going into the chicane. He gets squeezed a little onto the grass. He outbrakes himself. He has to cut the chicane. And he actually has to still defend from Pontus. However, he manages to stay ahead for now. And now Pontus is going to find himself under pressure from Pornage Town. We're gonna go over to I5 actually, as he is now putting down the pedal. He is closing on the Hailstone. He will get a chance on this long straight now. He's right on the back of the Hailstone as they go through Parabolka. It looks like I5 is able to get a slightly better line. However, he's actually lost a little through there to the Hailstone, so maybe he just took a tighter line but lost too much speed. And he's not going to be close enough into turn 1. He's looking for the opportunity. Cablo is not going to be close enough to the car in front of him either. We can see that Ponage has actually already gotten past Pontus, and he will now try to hunt down El Truco for that 9th place. Oh, and look at this, Osvaldo Romeo, he is now in a battle with Cablo. He's pressuring Cablo going into this chicane as Cablo looks like he gets a very bad exit. Osvaldo on the inside, he can't really get a move gone there, and look at this, Osvaldo now under pressure from Python. Python on the outside, Osvaldo on the inside, Python ends up in the gravel, he spins, he hits El Truco, and it's a massive crash. Look at that, Pornage is out, Python is out. El Truco is not out, but he's pretty much out. And El Truco's teammate, I think... no, wait, El Truco's teammate has not been involved, as that is Billy, and he was out earlier in the race. And since it's the second to last lap, we're not going to see a safety car here. Pontus has massive front wing damage too. And is that actually Terpesky driving without a front wing? And look at this, what is happening on the straight here? The racing looks absolutely horrible at the moment. It doesn't look like might actually be that none of them have front wing or close to not having a front wing. Nonetheless though, Nutella Lover has lost some time to the hailstone right now as Twanak has forced his way through on I5 here. And this being the last lap, I think Nutella Lover is just a bottle away from getting his first win here. As he goes through this chicane. And now into Lesmo 1. We can see, oh, and who was that behind there? I think that might have been I5 who lost the back end massively after the chicane. Nonetheless, and look at this actually. The hailstone, he's not finished. He wants to get that. He wants to get that win. He is 7/10 behind Nutella right now. He has DRS. He's not going to be close enough into Ascari. He's going to have to try to get an amazing exit of Ascari. However, Nutella Lover looks good there. Nutella Lover picks up a 3-second time penalty. That might have been crucial. I do not know if any of the drivers behind him has any penalties. But looking at the Nutella Lover going through Parabolka, I think we might see Nutella Lover over the line in first. But I don't think we're going to see him take that first as he goes over the line. And the hailstone also with a penalty. Also with a penalty for Tranak and I5. And Buma almost catches up a few positions there. But Osvaldo in 6th. Cabo in 7th. We're going to have Sven coming over the line to take 8th place. Before Lorenzo takes 9th. And then Morris Guy takes 10th. Pontus is going to come over the line to a disappointing 11th. Morris, actually 10th. Morris Guy over the line to take the 11th place. Then Mescas is coming through Parabolka right now to take that 12th place before El Truco crosses the line with no front wing to take 13th. Abmo, the second Renault driver, over the line to take 14th. He jumps Terpesky on penalties. And now Ardio is going to be the last driver to cross the line, down in 16th. He predicted himself on the podium here today in Italy. And it could not have gone worse for Ardio. Well, to be fair, actually, with the format we have here, it could have gone worse. He could have DNF'd. Nonetheless, he finished 16th, which means he will be starting on pole in Singapore. Singapore, a track where Ardio is notorious, but not for winning, but for flipping. So let's see then, do we have any messages in the chat? Python not happy at all with the racing here today. Nonetheless, after an interesting race nonetheless, we have Nutella Lover winning the first race of his season with here in Italy, 7/10 ahead of the hailstone. In second, Twanak takes third to take another podium. Nutella Lover also from 12th on the grid, but he did well with the safety cars. I5 from 19th to 4th. Buma from 5th to 5th, actually one of the few drivers staying in their position. Osvaldo Romeo goes from 20th to 6th. Cablo finishes in 7th place in the end. Sven finishes in 8th. Lorenzo in 9th. And Pontus in 10th. Well, Audio, you might say that, but you're starting on pole in Singapore though. So that is something. Nonetheless, then with Terpesky out of the points in this first race, the championship are gonna be closer, especially with I5 picking up that 4th place, I believe. I believe it was 4th place. I might be wrong though, but I'm sure that Audio will be giving us an update on that in not long. Nonetheless, let's see, Python. Singapore is one of my best. Should have won Italy after the first safety car. Now I'm starting at the back. Well, I don't know how what I can say there, Python. It was definitely an interesting race in the end, and there was a huge crash going out of Lesmo 2 there at the end too, so unluckily for some drivers that a few of you were caught in that. I do know, Python, I do know. But nonetheless, though, we're heading into Singapore, and I will have to say that Singapore is one of my favorite tracks on the calendar. Actually, it usually provides good, good and interesting races. It is a street track, just like Monaco and Baku, and together with Baku, this is one of the best street circuits. It has enough straights for it to be able to actually make overtakes there. It also has those tight section going on to, I believe it's the Anderson Bridge, something like that. And obviously that final sector where you're first going through those 90-degree tight corners before heading into the final corner where you really need to try to carry as much speed as possible. See that Python is already saying that he has uploaded his view. Well, could be interesting looking at that. Nonetheless, though, back to Singapore. A lot of interesting places there. You have we don't have the Singapore Sling anymore. Obviously, yeah, that got changed up a bit, but that's also a tricky section. And also starting on pole for RDO, he really needs to get his getaway good here, as it's not a long run into turn one. It's quite a short one. And if you hit it right, you're not going to be challenged in there, but if you don't hit it right, you will be challenged in there. Most likely. And obviously, if you can pull out of DRS on the other drivers before lap 3, then it really isn't that easy to catch up to either, but we will have to see, as I will be. And I have my updates on the standings, so still in the lead, Terpesky, but no points in Italy means that his lead is now 95 points. I5 is in second with 74 points, 21 point gap there between them. Before then, Twanak is in third on 61 points, so 34 points behind Terpesky. Buma, after also a strong finish, on 60 points and 35 points behind Terpesky, before the Hailstone rounds up top 5 with another strong finishing result for him with 52 points then and 43 points behind Terpesky. Other notable changes there, we can see that Nutella Lover has jumped up a few positions after getting the win there, and he's now up to 35 points, 60 points behind Terpesky in the lead though, so it's gonna be very difficult for him to actually fight for the championship. But it is still very possible, as there is 125 points on the table still, and that is only the first places. Nonetheless though, and heading into Singapore, I believe we should be going in not too long now. Nonetheless though, if you're watching, what was your favorite moment of that Monza race. Obviously, it was an interesting one with a lot of crashes. Audio is on pole. You are correct there. However, he says his pacer is bad, but I've seen him race around Singapore before, and if I have to be honest, I don't think he's as bad as he says. I think he has good chances here, to be honest. But Audio is right though. Terpesky, well, he isn't right, but Terpesky is also in a good position after that horrible first race for him. Boomer, he says Terpesky for the win, Boomer for second, Ponage for third. Well, Ponage, didn't he crash out? I think he's going to be starting all the way at the back of the grid, so I think it's going to be difficult for him and some of the others. Of course, as I said, it's very possible to overtake on this track, but I think it's going to be difficult if you're all the way at the back of the grid to take that top position today. But nonetheless, we could have a scenario like we had in the previous race where we get a safety car, some drivers just ends up much higher than they should have been, and you never know. Nonetheless, we will have to wait a few more minutes as the drivers are picking their strategies. Strategy that normally, when you go around Singapore on a 50% race, it would be medium to hards, but with it being just a 25% race, I'm not completely sure what the strategy is actually here. However, I think soft to mediums is the strategy to go with, depending on how many laps it is. However, the soft tires, people might not be that used to the soft tires here, so for those people, I would just say that be careful, because those soft tires are good on the first lap, but they're really not good for long. As we can see that we have the grid now. We have Audio on pole position. We have Abmo in second. We have Terpesky in third. And I did not actually remember that he started that high up, but he's been with a good chance then. El Truco will be starting in fourth. Mesclas in fifth. Morris Guy in sixth. Racing points on the same row here today. Pontus in seventh. Then Lorenzo in eighth. Before we have the Haas of Sven in 9th, then Cablo in 10th. Osvaldo Romeo in 11th, Buma in 12th, I5 in 13th, then Twanak in 14th, the Hailstone in 15th, and Nutella over in 16th. Then we have Python, Pornage, MacTac and Billy in 17th, 18th, 19th and 20th, as they all retired in the first race. And looking at the tires here, most of the people have gone for the medium tires, so they will be starting on those tires. But we do have a few drivers who are opting to start on the soft tires, and among those people we have Audio in pole, and I think that's a good choice by him to just try to put some distance between him and the cars behind to begin with. We have Terpesky and El Truco both on the soft tires. Sven is the next one down in 9th before Osvaldo Romeo in 11th are on the soft tires, then Twanak and the Hailstone in 14th and 15th on the soft tires. And another factor to throw into it, this race, if you're starting on the soft tires, with it being 15 laps and you have a safety car early on, you can go to the mediums, but all these guys who are on the mediums, they're gonna have to either stay out or go onto the hard tires. So I think for the guys who's on the soft tires, they're gonna be hoping for a safety car early on just to optimize it completely. But it's gonna have to be very early because those soft tires are not good for more than a couple of laps. Nonetheless, we're waiting on the lights. As we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4, we have 5 red lights, and away we go. And into turn 1, it looks like that Williams of Terpesky has had an amazing start but he can't really get past El Truco into turn 1 as El Truco has the inside. He's still in second then. Admo on the other hand, he might have been caught out a little by these two being on those medium tires as he's dropped down to 4th right now. And looking down the field, and there is yellow flags already, and I'm not quite sure who that is. I think it's the Hailstone and Nutella lover actually, who might have had a collision, and actually might be the I-5 too. I'm not completely sure. Nonetheless though, looking at these drivers trying to tackle the twisty streets of Singapore. We have RDO, who's pulled away a little from El Truco and Terpesky right now, but look at this though. Terpesky, he's very aggressive here, tries to get as close as possible to El Truco, manages to bump El Truco a little, giving him some wing damage, and that could be difficult for Terpesky to handle. It's not fun to drive around with a broken front wing around the streets, as Morris guy is looking for a move on that ball, but looks like he might have had to just back out of it to avoid a collision, as I believe it's Pontus Johansson who has lost the car. I'm not sure what he's done, but he is moving again as we see more front wing damage. This time it is for... I'm not sure who it is for. Nonetheless though, look at this, they're almost 3 wide behind there. It's Tvanak trying to make the move on Lorenzo and Osvaldo. I think he's been able to make the move work too. But now we're gonna head up to Morris guy as he has tried to get past Abmo for a few laps now. Well, for 1 lap, but now I think he's gonna have him on this straight, heading in towards this left-hander. I think he got the position as Abmo ends up in a spin, and I'm not quite sure. I think it might have been Sven who's had to dive to the... Ooh, look at that! Tvanak is in the wall, in the tight right-hand side corner. He just didn't manage to turn the car enough, and he's lost a lot of position and a lot of time by that, but there is a virtual safety car now. And let's see if this virtual safety car is gonna last longer. The guys in front on those soft tires might be looking to actually pit already for the medium tires, and 13 laps, I think that should be completely doable. In the meantime, these guys on the mediums, they're just gonna have to stay out. They don't have an option. They can't dive in for soft tires. Diving in for medium tires, that's not gonna be a good option either. Those tires are just simply not good around there. But look at this, there is green flags there again. Audio still has a massive gap now behind to El Truco and Terpesky behind him. But look at this, Buma is all over the back of Ponage. Ponage, however, is also inside that gap of 3 of second to Cablo ahead of him as Terpesky has dived into the pit. I think he struggled with his wing damage, so he's going to be aiming for a wing change and some fresh medium tires. And if I am El Truco or RDO now, I would just pit now on this next lap then, because those soft tires aren't going to be good for much more, and they could end up getting undercutted by Terpesky, as we see that Sven gets past Mesclas. We have some battles in the background here too. Lorenzo right on the back of Osvaldo. Osvaldo almost touching the wall there. as they head in towards where the old Singapore sling was. However, it's not like that anymore, but it's still quite a tricky chicane section as they then head on to the bridge and this heavy braking zone into the hairpin. And look at this Osvaldo, he's trying to break slipstream with Lorenzo. He knows that Lorenzo is on his tail. Lorenzo actually has a little wing damage, I didn't notice that before right now. But first, I think we might see something happen between Mescas and Sven. Sven on those old soft tires now. Will we see any of these soft runners going into the pit? It looks like Audio is going for another lap. It looks like El Truco is going for another lap too. Same with Sven, so the tires must still be alright then, I guess. But as Sven actually puts up the fastest lap, so it's definitely still good then. But look at that I5 with an even faster lap right now on the medium tires. So it could be time for pit stops then. Nonetheless, we're gonna follow Sven as he's right on the back of Morris guy right now. He has DRS. He's gonna go for that inside lane. He's gonna dive it down the inside. But he goes way too deep though, but it doesn't look like Morris guy is gonna attack him back there. He just sits behind, knowing that Sven will have to pit soon. We see that Cablo has managed to get past Lorenzo now too. We have Pornage and Boom are right on the back of Lorenzo now. And look at, oh, ho, ho. Lorenzo dangerously close to some of the walls here. However, to maximize everything, you kind of have to get as close as possible to the walls sometimes too. Let's see, it's lap 4. Those soft tires won't have much left in them now. Will we see Ardio go into the pit stop to put on a fresh set of medium tires? I believe he should be doing that. So we're gonna jump over to Morris guy as we can see that Sven, he's gonna be going into the pit. Audio does not pit, he still goes. I don't see why he's doing this. I think he's gonna dig himself into a hole he doesn't want to. Same with El Truco, they're obviously waiting in case there's a safety car, but those soft tires are just no good around here. I can't imagine that this being a smart choice by them. Nonetheless, it looks like Pornage is lining himself up for a move on Lorenzo here. Lorenzo has no DRS, Pornage does. He's gonna go for that inside line into this left-hander. He's gonna go down the inside. He tries not to outbrake himself, but he gets past Lorenzo. But Lorenzo is almost still there and tries to pressure Pornage through that hairpin. I don't think that was a smart idea by him. I think he might have lost a little more than he gained by doing that. And Billy is definitely lagging, and it's not a pretty sight to to be fair. But as something has happened in the hairpin, I'm not quite sure. And I think it's El Truco who's made a mistake. He's lost a lot of his front wing on the right side. It might be the tires who's just failed him now. And look at this, he has Cablo right on his rear. And please, for God's sake, go into the pit, Ardio. Don't gamble too much on that safety car. Those tires are gonna lose you time if you don't pit soon. As we also can see that MacTac is in the pit currently. Ardio goes into the pit. This is gonna leave the 2 racing points in first and second for the time being, with Cablo in third, but Cablo though under pressure from Pornage Town as he's closing down that gap. And with DRS, I think we're gonna see Pornage make an attempt of an overtake on this next straight. Look at this. Oh, Cablo getting a little wide on the exit there, but I think he might have actually gotten such a good exit that he's going to be able to keep Pornage Town behind for one more lap. As we see that Ardio has come out of the pit, he's still ahead of Terpeski by 3.5 seconds. And he was ahead by more than that, so I think he was starting to lose time at the point that he was pitting. Nonetheless, right now we don't have any battles that close that we will see overtakes. We have the two Racing Points in front, 6/10 behind those two, but I don't think we're gonna see too much battling between these two. If Morris Guy is quicker, I think Mesclas is just gonna try to stay with them, although right now Mesclas is harvesting a lot of ERS. We then have the Renault of Cablo behind those two before we have the two Red Bulls of Ponuge and Buma right behind them. They also have Python and Billy on their rear, so it's going to be crucial to stay inside Cablo's DRS here. Buma on the other hand, he looks like he's struggling a little bit now. He's lost DRS to his teammate Ponuge, and this could be crucial for Python to be able to make a move. As look at that, Billy is just showing himself for the others there. As Terpeski has not actually made a move, it's just Metallalover who's gone into the pit. What about the Racing Points? There's going to be no move here. What about Ponuge on Cablo? He's getting closer. He's going to go down the inside. He thinks about it, but he backs out of it. Python, on the other hand, he is trying to make a move on Buma. He can't really get that move done either. You can see though, Billy has now I5 right on his rear. But there is not any overtakes happening at this time. However, Ardio, he's gaining time on Terpeski. He's pulling away, and right now he's in the net lead, and he's quite far in the net lead too. So I think as long as he can just keep driving steady, because he's catching up to this group ahead of him, he can't try to force his way through this group. I think that could be his downfall if he catches up to them before they pit. Nonetheless though, ooh, as we see some wing debris there, I think that has been, well, was for I5 actually. That's gonna make it more difficult for him. What about the two Racing Points? They're just playing the follow game. There's no overtakes happening. I think maybe Mesclas could be the quicker driver, but he has wing damage actually, so that makes a little more sense then. We can see that Cablo has broken DRS with Ponuge. Ponuge has been caught up a little by Buma now. I'm not sure if we're gonna see a multi-21 situation if Buma keeps catching up, but he looks like he might be the quicker driver right now. However, he also has Python right on his rear, so it's gonna be difficult to make anything happen here without also allowing Python into that battle. Sven is right on the rear of Terpeski. He goes around the outside after a long straight to go up to 9th. And Terpeski, he looks like he's struggling here today. He doesn't look like he has the same pace that he's had on some of the other tracks. As Macdak has retired, and he is out of the race, and that is in the hairpin, I think. Hopefully that won't bring out a safety car. It doesn't look like it will. As we now have Mesclas trying to get a little closer to Morisia, it looks like. We also have the battle between the two Red Bulls and Python. Python, who's right on the back of Buma. He looks like he's quicker, but he just can't get past on the straight, as Buma also has DRS on Ponuge. And look at this, Python, he's into the pit. That is an early pit stop for Python. Same with Cablo, both into the pit. I'm not sure, I think they... And it is for soft tires. They are definitely going to be struggling with their tires at the end of the race then. But it could have been a decent decision to take too. Obviously, Python did not get anywhere being behind Buma and Ponage. He's now trying to undercut those two. However, he's risking his tires at the end of the race. But it might be worth it, as we can see that RDO now is up to 6th place. He's gonna be in first when everybody pits, and we can see that Mesclas has passed Morris Guy. We did not catch that, but he's also pulled away from Morris Guy. And these two are same actually for both of the Racing Point and Red Bull drivers. They're in a little bit of a crisis here, because one of these drivers will have to pit on the lap that is either a little bit too early or a little bit too late. But we're gonna find out what's happened. Obviously, Mesclas and Ponage is gonna have the calls. They're the first drivers on track for both their teams. It looks like Morris Guy is struggling now. I'm not sure if he might have some wing damage. He does. He's lost a lot of his front wing actually, so I'm not sure quite what's happened there. We can see though that Python is right on the back of El Truco here. He's trying to get past him. He knows that he has those soft tires. He knows that he has to try to make the most out of them right now while they're at the best. But he can't get past El Truco yet. He tries though to pressure El Truco as much as possible. But we can see that Morris Guy and Ponage has gone into pit for soft tires. I think maybe the best lap to go in for the soft tires might be next lap. But we will see. Those tires, I think, as with Python, they will be difficult to handle at the end. But we can see that Python has made an undercut work on Ponage, and that also means that he will be undercutting Buma then, as Buma was behind Ponage. As Buma as Python, mixing up everyone here now, as Python has also made his way through and past El Truco. And he's now going to try to put some distance between himself and Ponage. In the meantime, Cablo has just got himself past Tvanak, I believe. So obviously Cablo also being on those soft tires, trying to make the most out of them at this moment. Mesclas and Buma is still to pit. Same with Billy, same with Terpesky. No, not Terpesky. He just pitted early. My bad. Nonetheless though, as we can see that Ponage has made the move work on El Truco, and I think he might have just actually caught him on traction out of the hairpin there. With those fresh soft tires, he should have a massive advantage there right now. However, he could be struggling on the last 2 laps or last lap. As we see that both Mesclas and Buma are now in for their pit stops. We can see that Billy is also in for his pit stop. And now comes the interesting part. Where will they be after their pit stop? We can see that Morris Guy is catching on I-5 here. He's gonna hope to make a move on I-5 soon. I-5 on the hard tires, I'm not quite sure why. But look at this though, Python, he's made his way up to 5th place now. He's jumped Ponage, Mesclas, Buma, Morris Guy, everyone in front of him, except for the cars at the front though, that are, I think they're a little too far ahead for Python. Osvaldo Romeo being 9.5 seconds ahead of Python. But definitely a strong race from Python so far. And look at this, Tvanak and Buma in the background. Buma gets past and it's up to 9th. And look at this, I-5 is also looking a little feistier. The question is just if he has the tires to make anything though. Obviously, as Morris has lagged out of the session, or he might have just left to actually looking at where he's on the grid right now. I highly doubt that. And looking at this, Python is actually catching quite heavily on Osvaldo Romeo right now. However, I just don't think he has enough laps left, and I think his soft tires will drop off at some point. But look at this, I-5 and Tvanak fighting in the second sector, and they have Billy right on their back too. Billy with those fresh soft tires, and Billy with that massive lag, it looks like right now too. And it's quite difficult to actually know where Billy is right now. You can see him lagging up and down, back and forth, up and down. I feel bad for these drivers racing Billy right now. Oh, and look at this, Boomer. He just gets a much better last corner than El Truco as he goes into turn 1, 2, and it's a safety car. And that's Billy, who's actually crashed out in the last corner. Interesting. Well, that could have to do with his lag issues, to be fair. But nonetheless, though, we have a safety car with 3 laps to go. And this could end up being a thriller, as we have Audio. He's well in the lead, but he now has to hold off the drivers behind him. And the question is if it's worth pitting. And I will have to be honest, if I were these drivers right now, I would not be pitting. It's too short left of the race. However, obviously, drivers like Terpesky are in a little bit of a bad situation now with guys like Python, Pornuge and Mesclas behind on... Well, I wouldn't say fresh softs anymore, except for Mesclas, but... he's not finding himself in the best situation right now, but nonetheless. And the Hailstone gets a drive-through penalty, so he's not paid attention to his delta, I will assume. Nonetheless, I'm pretty sure nobody will pit. Audio does not pit. He believes in track position, and I think that's the right call. Sven does the same. Terpesky stays out. Same with Osvaldo. Same with everybody else, it looks like. And looking at it, I don't think the safety car will be staying in for more. Will be staying out for more than this lap, as we are this close to the end of the race. However, we will have to wait and see. We still have a lot of drivers who hasn't caught up to it. And luckily for the drivers all the way at the back, I don't think they will make it back up to it. But we can see though that everyone inside the top 7 right now has pretty much caught up. We have Pornuge and Mesclas still a little behind, but they're gonna be on the back of this in a few moments. We have El Truco starting to get closer to, together with Buma and I5. As we get the message that the safety car is in on this lap, and Audio will be slowing down the field to make sure that the safety car manage to get into the pit before they go. And it's 2 more laps of racing with everybody bunched up close together inside the top 10. Yeah, actually exactly the top 10 too. So this could make for a thriller, and penalties could also have an effect here. I haven't been looking too much for penalties, so I don't know if anybody inside the top 10 has them. I just noticed that somebody got a 5-second. But here goes Audio. It looks like, oh, as he spins it out of the final corner, he's done a big boo-boo. And that is a bottle and a half, and that leaves Sven in the lead ahead of Terpesky and Osvaldo Romeo. Python, he's looking in for a podium finish now, as he's right on the back of Osvaldo Romeo. Also the first driver on the soft tires. And look at this, he's right on the back of Osvaldo. They go down the long straight now. Python is going to pull out to take the inside line as they head towards this left corner. It looks like Osvaldo is managing to stay ahead for now. But it's going to be difficult to keep staying ahead, especially with Pornuge and Mesclas right behind Python too. It's going to be A lot of defending for Osvaldo here, and we can see that Sven is also under pressure from Terpeski as they go through this tight twisty section, then into the hairpin. And I think Python here is one of your opportunities. If you can get a good exit here, you could get close enough. It doesn't look like he's managed to get quite as good of an exit as he would have liked to, but they might have DRS on the last lap. I'm not completely sure. I think they will have. So Python should have one good opportunity more. But what a bottle from Mario today. It wasn't a flip, unfortunately for us. But let's have a look at Terpeski. Somehow he's managed, after the dreadful first race, after the dreadful start to this race, he's somehow managed to find himself in a great position to win this race after Ardio dominating the whole race. But he's gonna have to try to make it work on this straight they're coming up to. And we will see now, do they have DRS? It doesn't look like they will have DRS. They don't. So he's going to have to make it all on straight line speed and exit. And look at this, we have Python in the background too. He is very close to making a move here. There is gonna be no move from Terpeski. Python doesn't manage to make the move on Osvaldo Romeo either. But look at this though. Python, he's still all over Osvaldo Romeo. He's trying to put him under pressure. And look at this. A delighted switchback. Python goes into third. Right before the old Singapore Sling, as there is a tap between Mezclas and Osvaldo. They manages to keep their cars on the track, but Python up into third position after a great run on these soft tires. And look at this, Osvaldo Romeo, he needs to do more defending. He has Mezclas right on his back now. Mezclas is trying to make a move going into this final sector. But Osvaldo is taking defensive lines. He's making sure that he won't give away this position, as there is another tap after Osvaldo goes way deep in the braking zone. But I think it might be set now, as we're gonna jump over to Sven, who somehow managed to come up to the front, take his first win of the season ahead of Terpeski, and then Python jumps up to second on penalties before Ponage actually jumps up to third on penalties, and Osvaldo jumps up to second in the end on penalties. And what a race, as we can see the hailstone going into the pit right now. I'm not quite... Oh, well, he has a drive-through actually, so he has to go into the pit to serve this. As we can see that he's finished. He finished in the pit. Then Nutella Lower is going to be going over the line in 14th. We're going to have Abmo going over the line in 16th. Then Pontus is going to go over the line as he's coming around the final corner, and we can see the fireworks killing the frame rate right now. Then Abmo in 17th, and Lorenzo will be the final driver to make it over the line as he heads through this final sector right now. And what a thriller we got in the end, and with that late safety car we really saw how much penalties can be worth. We saw that Terpeski, from finishing second on track, ended up dropping to 5th. We saw Ponage jumping up to 3rd. Osvaldo, after struggling defending off the soft tire runners, ends up in 2nd in the end, but nonetheless it is Sven the man who takes the win in Singapore, and I'm sure he will be very happy with that. Osvaldo Romeo takes 2nd on the podium, and Ponage Town somehow managed to sneak away that 3rd place. As we are gonna get the final finishing results, we can see that Terpeski had 10 seconds of time penalties, 2 5-second time penalties actually. But it is Sven from 9th to 1st, Osvaldo from 11th to 2nd, Ponage from 18th on the grid to take that podium, and also Python with a strong performance from 17th to 4th, only losing out on the podium by a 10th after penalties. Terpeski in 5th, El Truco in 6th, Mescas in 7th, Buma in 8th, Audio in 9th after just bottling it on the safety car restart, I5 in 10th. Then outside of the top 10 we have Morris Guy in 11th, Twanak in 12th, Cabo in 13th, Nutella Lover in 14th, The Hailstone in 15th, Pontus Johansson in 16th, Abmo in 17th, before Lorenzo takes 18th, and Billy and Macatak both DNF'd from the race. And with that, we're gonna try to see if we can get Sven, Osvaldo, and Ponage in for interviews. I will just have to apologize for the blue screens in for a few moments. Um, Sven the man. Did Osvaldo not have a mic? Was it like that? Sven, but I've invited him and Ponage. Let's see. Well, that was Osvaldo. Well, we could invite 4th place then, Rossi. Well, I've switched up the interview method there. It's like the winner of the second race, well, the podium of the second race. Let's see. Python, how is that? Python X, is it that? Just X Python maybe. There it is. Audio for bottle. Let's see, who do we have here so far? Send one last invite to him. And while waiting on him, we'll start it off. And we will start it off with you, Rossi. Are you there?
Oh, hello.
Ah, there you are. So,
How's
Italy
it going?
didn't go to plan, but,
I'm alright.
but in Singapore it went much better in the end, though. And
Whoa,
well, I have
hold
to
on,
say,
hold on.
I'm a
Hold
little.
on a minute.
You talking to me?
I'm talking to Rossi so far.
Oh, sorry.
I need to do some... Yeah, I can hear you now.
Alright, then we'll start over and I just noticed the message about a bottle, so we all know what it is. But Italy though didn't go exactly to plan for you in the end, and like what happened in that big crash there? Because I believe you were one of the drivers who unfortunately got caught up in it, and I didn't see exactly what happened.
After the first safety car, I think I was running 5th. And then I think the top 6 or 8 were all on mediums, apart from me. I was on softs. Then when the second safety car came out, I was like neck and neck with Cablo, but like Cablo went in front of me. And then I think a hailstone braked at Parabolica. I hit the back of him, so then I had to pit, which was fair enough. Then once the safety car went away, I was still me and RDO, I think. I can't remember. There was someone in front of me on softs. I think it was RDO. We were going through the park, and then I ended up catching up Cablo again, and then yeah, I got a better exit out of the second chicane, went round the outside, and then I kind of got pushed onto the gravel. Fair enough, I should have braked as soon as I went there, but I held my footing. Then I just let off the throttle. While I left off the throttle, I spun. Like Alpha hit me, which spun my more. Like a Red Bull hit me straight on the nose, which then put me across the track, which then Ponage hit me and retired me. So it was quite chaotic.
I can tell you, it definitely looked chaotic, but
Yeah.
nonetheless, though, heading into Singapore,
Yeah.
you weren't exactly optimistic with your starting position, and well,
No.
to be fair, I can see why you weren't, but somehow, though.
With the carnage at Italy, I'm actually editing my video right now. Off the line, I put my fuel mixture down a lane and put my ERS off. So by the first corner, I was already like 3 seconds behind everyone. And then by the 4th corner, there was a crash, so I gained 3 positions. And within like the next 2 laps, there was another crash, gained 5 positions. Then got stuck behind Billy, who was lagging on real amounts, so I couldn't pass him. Once I eventually passed him, then me and Boomer started catching up Ponage. So then I was like, if Boomer can't get past Ponage, I'm undercutting them. And then, well, the undercut kind of worked in a massive favour. I was in front of all of them by a safety car coming out.
Yeah, because I did notice that undercut, and I gotta be honest, I thought you pitted a little too early, because I know that like the soft tires, usually they are just like they're dropping off badly from lap 3 onwards, but
I pitted lap 7, I think. No, I pitted lap 8, end of lap 8, going on to 9. safety car came out, but I checked my tyre. The tyres were only at 25% when the safety car came out. So I probably could have done like 7-8 laps on them, so they probably would have been fine near the end. But, yeah, my move on Oswaldo to pass him to catch up to Pesky was quite impressive.
Well, it was a nice one. I did see you trying multiple times to find a way through, but I did not quite see that one coming in the end.
I think that was a better switchback than the Hailstone one in Canada by far. Because when the safety car came out, I went onto the directory and checked everyone's penalties, and no one had penalties around me apart from Trubisky. And he had 5, and I knew I had 3, so I was like, I need past Osvaldo and get at least 2 seconds to Trubisky. And then once Osvaldo started slowing everyone up behind me, I was like, I can actually get second here, but it wasn't enough. Another second I think I needed. So, yeah, it was fun.
Well, I believe you missed out on the podium by a tenth in the end. But
Yeah,
still, though,
I almost drifted.
a fourth place after that starting position, and obviously after how Italy went, it's a very good result in the end. But on to next week, though, we're heading to, I believe, Russia. No.
It's something like USA. USA is the
Russia
second
and
thing.
USA.
Russia and USA, yeah, you're right.
Russia. I've noticed one thing with this calendar. The first race is terrible for me, and the second race is okay. It's still the same as here. Not great at Russia. USA I'm okay at, but then I'm kind of concentrating on the last one because it's Brazil Abu Dhabi?
Yeah.
Brazil.
Yeah, that's like the only week that's back to front. I'm pretty good at Brazil, but terrible at Abu Dhabi. I would say Abu Dhabi's probably my worst up against Italy.
Nonetheless, though, you're still in the fight for the championship here.
I'm still surprised I'm 6th after that amount of DNF.
And with that, do you think that you can still grab the title?
Nope. Pesky's still going to be too quick. I think. If I finish top 3, I'll be happy.
Alright, fair enough. Nonetheless, though, congratulations on the 4th place today. Almost podium, but just a 10th off. But nonetheless, congratulations and good luck for next week.
Thank you.
As we will be heading over to Pawnage, and I believe Pawnage, you ended in 3rd in the end?
Yep.
Yeah, so, well, first of all, actually, we'll take Italy. That race, you got caught up in the same collision as Python. Like, how was it that from your view?
Italy was just crazy from the start. I mean, I got a good start. RDO just went a bit wide at the first turn, but he came on track so beautifully. So a good man on doing that correctly, because I just would have turned right and fucking caused the pile up. And then I followed around Tripsky for a bit, and then I think on the safety car there was a bit of a jumble up at the first chicane. I think RDO's involved in that. I didn't see what happened, but I knocked my wing a little bit, and then I ended up in 2nd behind some guy on softs that hadn't pitted, and it all went to shit from there. And yeah, and then I got caught up in the accident with Rossi and that, which was a shame because I think I could have got up to 5th or 4th.
Well, unfortunately, those crashes do happen sometimes, and
It's part of the game.
I believe you also retired from it, so obviously then going into Singapore, you had a horrible starting position, but I have no idea how you carved your way up the field that quickly, though. And you were sitting behind your teammate Buma, and obviously then Rossi pitted before the both of you. Were there any discussions on who was going to pit the lap then, or?
I mean, Boomer said lap 10, and I think I went on a lap 9. I think Boomer got the raw end of the stick there because his tyres were a bit more worn, so I think that caused him to come out in a bit of a battle further behind. But I mean, I just kept my nose clean in Singapore. There was a few accidents at the start which took out a few people, and then Twanak got pushed into the wall. I've seen it in the forum, poor fella. and managed to get up to third. I saw Rossi add 3 seconds, so and he was battling with Oswaldo, so I didn't think he'll be able to pull away 3 seconds because it took him a while to get past Oswaldo. But happy with third though.
I'm checking that 3 seconds, by the way.
Of course you are. Of course you are.
Nah, you have to.
Nonetheless, though, managed to grab that third in the end, and obviously that undercut from Rossi worked well, but you also did undercut your own teammate in the end, though. But heading into next week, and what did I say? Russia and USA, I believe. How those for you?
Russia, it's okay. It's just an okay track. I'll see what happens. But I do like USA. That's one of my favourite tracks. So hopefully I'll be able to get a few points there. And well done to Sven for winning Singapore, man. Good job. And RDO, my heart bleeds to you, man. That was, oh, dude. It hurt when I saw you. I just screamed in the party. Oh, dude. So sorry, man. That's unfortunate.
Was Inga used in the F4 race when Warren Hague spun in the last lap in the last corner? Or have you seen the video?
No, but
I just
I
wanted
know
to
what
reiterate
I know what it's like to spin on the last corner of the last lap. So I know it's not quite there, but I feel your pain, RDO, man.
RDO still stayed in, like, Warren Hague, the safety car came in the lap before, everyone in front, he was the only one in the whole race that didn't have penalties. Coming round the corner in 8th, he would have won the race, spun, went into the pits and finished like 12th or something.
Well, nonetheless, congratulations on your podium today, Ponage, and good luck for next week.
Thank you very much, man.
We will be heading on to Sven then. If he's
Hello.
there
I'm
he
here.
is. So, Sven, first of all, Italy. I can't remember much of Italy for you, so just like, how did Italy go for you?
Well, a lot of crashing. I think I broke 3 front wings, and because of the safety car and a bit of luck, I managed to get P9 in the end.
Ah, alright. Well, P9 is still points, but heading on to Singapore though. You somehow, I did not catch how you ended up suddenly being at the front like that. Except for obviously a certain person spinning in the last corner.
Thank you.
But nonetheless though, I believe you were on one of the guys on the at the end there who was on the oldest set of tires. And like, how did you end up in that position?
Well, I started P9 and I had a good start. I went around the outside of one person, I believe. And at the end of the first long straight, I was already 3 places ahead, so I was already in P6. And then I got a bit lucky because in front of me there was a crash and I managed to avoid that. And yeah, I pitted really early because I knew the medium tires were better than the soft tires, so I pitted like lap 3 or 4. And then I just overtook a couple of people at some good battles, and in the end I got lucky that RDO made the spin.
The notorious spin. Nonetheless, that then on the last lap placed you in first, and at that point, did you think I believe Terpesky was behind you? Did you think he could challenge you, or did you know about his penalties?
Well, I didn't know about his penalties, but he was kind of on the same pace with me because he was sticking in my DRS. So who knows what would have happened if he didn't have the penalties, and maybe I made a mistake or something.
True. Nonetheless, next week we're heading to Russia and USA. How are those tracks for you?
Oh, I actually thought that Russia was this week, so I did a bit of practice at Russia. So I was like, wait, we're going into Italy. But yeah, I like Russia and I like USA, but I'm not that fast on them, but I like to drive them.
I see. So what kind of position are you looking for there?
I'm just hoping to have some fun battles and to get like 2 top 10 finishes. That would be good.
Come on, you know how it is in my interviews. I want optimism. Not a
Okay,
win.
I'm going to win both of the races.
There we go. There we go. Bonnage also knows it.
Yeah.
Well, nonetheless, congratulations on your win today, and good luck for next week.
Thank you.
Since we have you here, Audio, we're gonna just ask you one question.
Do you have to?
Yes, I do have to.
Okay.
Because Singapore, it really isn't a track for you. Every time you come to this track, it just seems like you can do well, but it just never works out for you. It's usually you flips, but today the last corner just caught you out and you spun around. Like, what is the deal with you in Singapore?
It's just like cursed for me, I guess. I mean, I had such good pace, and I just had to be calm and bring it home. I had no penalties. I got a really good restart from Swen, and then got a bit too excited, and around I went.
Well, it was heartbreaking to see it when it happened. Nonetheless, though, hopefully you'll have a little more luck next week. But with that, yes. Okay, it sounded like you had something more to say, but nonetheless, though, it is time to nominate the driver of the day, and just need a couple of seconds to look. There is not really that many clear options, I will have to say that.
Should
No
have
clear
been me
options,
if my
actually.
should have been me if my Italy was better. Oh me.
Well, you can say that, but Italy wasn't better, unfortunately.
Exactly.
I'm gonna go with Sven as the first driver of the day nominee.
Wide load Billy because he was actually wide for a change.
He wasn't fucking loading though, was he?
Well, true.
Then I'm gonna go with Osvaldo. And the last one really isn't many clear options, but we'll go for Pawnage after that strong finish
That
in the
was
second
the
race.
clear option.
Well, I mean, there was 2 drivers though. Rossi finished ahead of you on track, but and none of you had a good Italy race in the end. But that is the top 3 driver of the day nominees: Sven, Osvaldo, and Pawnage. And with that, I'll also nominate Audio for Bottle of the Day. I actually felt a little bad for saying it, but it had to be said. And I am a bit of a bot myself, so I know how the feeling can be. But nonetheless, that is it, and we're gonna finish off the stream. This has been ALR round 4 Italy and Singapore. Hopefully you've enjoyed your time here. I have certainly enjoyed some interesting racing. Audio, I believe, has really not enjoyed his time. Been a few shots taken at him here. But nonetheless, next race will be next week at 8 p.m. At Thursday. We will be heading to Russia before we starting with the reverse grid in USA. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel to catch more action, and with that, hopefully I'll see you again. Goodbye.